Russia has not invested a lot of time or resources in Africa. Nonetheless, it is still progressing gradually in several countries. Its existence generates positive PR, defying Western attempts to isolate Russia. Russia has a turbulent history, that much is true. Most of the growth has been made by the Sahelian republics, which are extremely unstable and isolated globally, while other African democracies have struggled to gain ground. Moscow, however, has shown that it can take advantage of Africa's vulnerabilities in terms of governance, instability, and security. Moscow is currently seizing possibilities that are aligned similarly in the Sahel. It has welcomed the military governments in Burkina Faso and Mali, offering them help with information operations, diplomatic backing, and security assistance. In the most recent developments in Burkina Faso, Russia has reopened its embassy after it was shut more than 30 years ago. Plans to reopen the embassy were revealed by Russian President Vladimir Putin during the July Russia-Africa Conference in St. Petersburg. The embassy was closed in 1992 as Moscow reduced its involvement in Africa following the end of the Cold War and the collapse of the Soviet Union. The embassy was reopened during a ceremony in Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso, according to a report by Russia's state-run news agency TASS. However, Russia has not yet named the head of the mission. Alexei Saltykov, the Russian ambassador to Ivory Coast, declared that he would lead the mission until President Vladimir Putin appointed someone else. Saltykov described the West African state as an old partner with whom they have solid and friendly ties. You should know that Russia has been working very hard under Putin to reclaim its influence in Africa. Chad has relatively open borders with the Central African Republic, Libya, and Sudan, where Russian mercenaries are also active, and officials from Africa, Europe, and the United States have warned that the Wagner Group is expanding into these countries. Wagner is alleged to have given material and operational support to local rebels attempting to destabilize and possibly overthrow the government of Chad's interim president, Mahamat Idris Déby Itno. While aligning with military regimes in Africa hardly enhances Russia's power over the long term, it is certainly useful for unnerving countries including the United States, France, and some of the Sahel's neighbors. It is no news that Burkina Faso, along with Mali and Niger, have been battling an Islamist insurgency over the years. The military chiefs of Mali have called in the Russian mercenary organization Wagner to help battle the Islamists after driving out French forces. The Burkina Faso authorities also denied assertions made by President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana last year that Wagner was brought in. The reopening of the Russian embassy in Burkina Faso signifies a renewed commitment to diplomatic engagement and cooperation between the two nations. It provides a platform for enhancing political, economic, and cultural ties between Russia and Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso's local populace should anticipate better consular services with the embassy's reopening. This covers consular services for Russian nationals living in or traveling to Burkina Faso, such as passport and visa services. It might also make it simpler for Burkina residents to visit the Russian embassy for consular assistance or visa applications. Burkina Faso may draw Russian companies and investors as a result of the Russian embassy's presence. Increased employment prospects, technology transfer, and economic opportunities will result from this. It might make trade links between the two nations easier, creating new opportunities and broadening the economy. The local community in Burkina Faso may also be able to find employment prospects as a result of the Russian embassy's reopening. The Wagner Group might provide a quick fix and help individual regimes gain more control, but a well-funded international solution is required to address the true reasons for instability in the region, which include human suffering, the catastrophic effects of climate change, and armed jihadist organizations. The populace of the region is more concerned with bettering their economic, social, and security circumstances than they are with Russia. Bear in mind that Burkina Faso recently canceled the gold licenses of Nordgold, a major Russian mining company. People had anticipated, nevertheless, that Captain Ibrahim Traoré would not drive out the Russian mining company. This is due to Burkina Faso's need to satisfy Russia, a recently discovered ally. However, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has a different plan in mind. He does not want to connect Burkina Faso's relations to Russia to permit Russian businesses to mine there. These are two entirely distinct entities that ought to be kept apart. He does not want to use the same tactic of allowing them to profit from Burkina Faso's gold to win over new allies. Across the continent, the winds of change are being propelled by a strong yearning for social fairness and economic freedom, in recognition of the historical contributions given to Burkina Faso by companies like Nordgold. Captain Traoré is leading the pro-self-reliance movement, which is gaining traction. By rejecting Western predatory practices, he is setting an example that other nations will have to follow. However, do you believe that Russia is requesting the renewal of its gold licenses through the establishment of its embassy? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Encourage us to keep making videos like this for you by liking this video and subscribing to the New Tourist channel. Turn on notifications too, so you get notified when we upload videos like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.